Hey everybody, it's Professor Parish. I hope that you are having a great week 5, or rather that you're going to have a good week 5. I'm recording this video a little bit early. Right now we're still in the midst of week 4, but I wanted to record this early before the weekend, and so I'm planning on posting this Sunday night on the 8th. So as I'm recording this, it's a little bit early, but I will have it uploaded on the 8th so that you'll be able to start week 5 with this video. So with that being said, this week we have a textbook activity and a grammar review, which is nothing unusual. We've done those assignments before, but this is the first week we have a new type of assignment, which is going to be in our discussion forum. So I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about that and making sure that we go over everything. So please make sure you and your classmates that you watch this video, because it is going to be an important assignment that we are going to do multiple times this semester, and I want to explain it proper. So on our course page, you can see I do have the week 4 lecture video up. If you've not watched it, I uploaded it early too. Please make sure that you watch that before Sunday. And then going to our assignments, you'll notice that week 4 is still on the screen here. Make sure you get those assignments turned in by Sunday night at 11:55, but we're going to look at week 5. So week 5 is reviewing cause and effect. So far the cause and effect topics that I've seen, I really like. I think they'll work perfect for this paper, so kudos to you all. The assignments are to make sure to watch this video. And then also we're going to talk about the discussion forum here in a moment. But there are 2 activities that are due Sunday. And those are going to be our grammar review number 2 and textbook activity number 3. Now you'll notice there are not any reading assignments this week. So you don't have to read anything out of the textbook. The assignments that we do this week are going to come out of there instead. So I'm going to go open up our grammar review over here so that you can see what it looks like. I'm going to pull it up. Okay. So the grammar review is from pages 427 to 430. In activity 1, you are basically creating a complete sentence based on what they give you. So what they're going to give you, this is all talking about fragments. So sentence fragments, sentences not being complete. And as you probably have talked about in your previous grammar classes, your sentence in order to be complete has to have a subject, has to have a verb, and has to have a predicate. A subject is who is the action being done on, or who is involved in the action. The verb is the action word, and then the predicate is what comes after. So where does the action happen? What happens with the action? Whatever comes after the verb is our predicate. So in activity 1, numbers 1 through 5, they're going to give you part of a sentence, but not all of it. So you have to kind of fill in the blanks and complete the sentence for the assignment. And the same goes with activity number 4 here on page 432 to 434. On page 434, you are going to rewrite sentences 1 through 5 into a complete sentence. And then finally, activity number 5, you are taking a fragment and rewriting it as well. But with this last assignment, they are giving you some directions in the parentheses of how that sentence should look, whether it should be a question, a statement, or so on and so forth. So this is a pretty easy assignment. I think that a lot of times students don't realize that what they're writing is a fragment until after it's already been created. A lot of times you don't think, you're like, oh, that's a fragment, I need to correct that. You think, oh no, that's just a sentence. And I attribute a lot of that to how we talk face-to-face in conversation. We talk in fragments a lot. We don't often take the time to craft a fully completed dialogue sentence. And so I think that's part of the problem. We just get used to that and think it's the norm. And then when we write, we don't realize, oh yeah, that's not a complete sentence. So it happens more than you think. But this assignment, since you are being shown the fragment and you're aware that it's not complete, should be pretty easy to fill in the blanks. And I'm excited to see how creative you all get in the assignment itself. So that's the grammar review. And then we go back here. Textbook activity 3 is also due Sunday, and we'll open it up here. And it should be fairly straightforward. What textbook activity 3 is doing is on page 55 to 57 in your book. you are going to look at these 4 sentences. You are going to write only one of these is going to be the P, the point. One of these 4 sentences is the main point, and the other 3 are support for that main point. So that is the idea. You're picking one of these 4 in each question to be the main point, or the P that you'll put here, and then the other 3 you're going to put an S by, meaning that they are the supporting details. So again, this should be a fairly simple assignment. There's just several questions. There's 15 in that first part to go through and just label. And then in part 2, on page 58 and 59, you're going to read the passage for 1 through 5, and then you're going to put an X by which of the passages, part A or B, which lacks support, which needs more information. So there's going to be a passage about my brother-in-law is a workaholic, and there's going to be 2 sections of supporting detail. You need to tell me A or B, which one needs more detail, which one is not complete. And when you get to page 58 and 59, you'll see this in full context. You'll see what it looks like. But again, this should be a fairly straightforward assignment. And so far, everybody has done very well in the grammar and textbook activities, which is good. It shows you're prepared. But again, this is just showing me that you can recognize when supporting details are missing and when they need to be added, and how that's present. So yeah, that's the textbook activity number 3. It is also due on Sunday. So let's go back, and you'll notice here on Friday, submit your draft of cause and effect paper to the week 5 discussion forum. Our discussion forum assignment is a little different than what we have done the past weeks in the discussion forum, and that's what I want to focus on with the rest of this video. So we've done the grammar and textbook activities already. You should be familiar with the Dropbox and setting that up. The discussion forum is what's a little bit new this week. So I'm going to go to that discussion forum. By this point, last week you picked your topic for your cause and effect paper, and several of you have already worked on the draft, which is awesome. So this week, by Friday, I want to see what you have. I want to see what you have written so far. Again, my big goal as an instructor is to prevent you from the night before it's due writing purge. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to have a nice draft that you can edit and craft and work on until the day it's due. I don't want you waiting until the last minute to construct your paper, because more than often that leads to the paper not being of the most high quality that it can be. So for this discussion forum, when you create your post, you are going to attach what you have done on paper 1 so far, what you have done in your cause and effect writing assignment. So please note here, do not copy and paste into the post. And the reason because of that is I cannot edit your post if it's just copied and pasted. It ruins the formatting. It takes everything out. Your audience would have to copy and paste it into a Word document and then edit it. It's just a mess. Don't do it. If you copy and paste into this forum, I'm going to take points off, because I'm telling you right now, and it says right here, don't do it. Okay, that's just a good rule of thumb. Attach your file, because then that way the formatting stays and it's much more editable than if you just copy and paste it. So as I note here in this video, I'm going to show you how to attach to your discussion forum posts so that you have them. By Friday, you need to have your cause and effect drafts submitted, and then by Sunday, like we've done with our other discussion forum posts, you're going to read at least 2 of your peers' papers and offer them feedback. So first, let me show you how to attach a post, and then I'll touch on this bottom part. So you just start a post like you normally would, and I'm going to have to go back to regular view in order to do this. So what I would do normally is I would just add a post, and let's say this is my cause and effect draft. So what I would do in here is just give you guys an overview of what this post is about. So I'll say, here's my cause and effect draft. Please let me know if there is anything I need to work on or add before final draft is due. That's all you have to put. You can add more if you want. You can add, if there's specific things you want us to look for, like grammar or spelling or punctuation, you can include that in here. But as long as you have just an opening statement, you can tell about what the topic of your paper is. That might be helpful, because then that way your peers know what your paper's about, so they may be more inclined to choose it to read. You can do that. But that's what you're going to put here. So then what you're going to do is you can either choose from your computer or choose file. To be honest, the easiest thing to do in this scenario, if you do this choose file, it's going to open up like you do with your Dropbox assignments, and it's going to have you pick from the thing, and you can do the extra upload, and it will basically function like your Dropbox. That's all fine and dandy, but to be honest, the easiest thing for this assignment is to go to choose from my computer, find the file that you want. Let's say I click that one. Now, here's the important thing. Once you've browsed, you're not done. So don't click submit yet. You have to click add. This button is extremely important. Click add, and you'll notice it's refreshed the screen, and now your document is right there. If it's not the right file that you attached, and you can click on it and check the file to make sure it's right, but if it's not, you can always delete here with this trash can, and you can browse and add again. You can add as many files as you need to, just denote which file is the correct one. But you have to click this add button in order to add it to the post. Otherwise, if you don't see this link in this trash can, that file is not added, and you need to make sure that you do it. Otherwise, we won't be able to see it. Okay? And then you can preview if you want to show you what it's going to look like. See, so this way your audience can click on the attached file and they can edit it, they can write comments on it, they can resubmit it, etc. That's pretty much it. Now, to go back to this bottom part here, with your drafts, I have a lot of students ask, how long should this draft be? Well, your total paper should be 3 full pages or more. As a goal, I would try to get as close to 3 full pages as you can. And the reason I say that is because the more you give us to read as peers, the more feedback you are going to get. To get full credit for this assignment, you need at least 2 pages. At least 2 by this point. But I would prefer you to have as close to 3 or more as possible. I say this because I've had students in the past just turn in their introduction, and I really couldn't give them any feedback. I was like, it looks good so far. Hope it turns out for you. But if you give me that full paper, I can give you a detailed feedback and say, no, you need to change this, or you need to correct the grammar here, or you need to add on here. I can give you a more complete review, because not only are your peers going to be reviewing your papers, but I'm going to be too. I'm going to be giving you feedback as well. So this is your chance to get feedback from me before you turn in the final draft. My goal with this is to try to make sure you get an A on this paper. And by having the most content possible, that's going to give you more feedback and a higher chance of that. So try to get as close to 3 pages as you can or more, but at least have 2 pages in order to get full credit on this part of the discussion forum. Now, the bottom part, you're going to read 2 of your peers' drafts and offer responses to them. As I've noted here, these responses should be what you liked about the posts as well as what could be improved. Because, we can face it, our writing is not perfect. No one is a perfect writer. I'm not a perfect writer. No one is. There's always ways that you can improve and become a better composer of your works. So you can be respectful and say, hey, I really loved your introduction. I loved how you dived into your points. I loved your detail in paragraph 3 about, and give an example. But then you can also say, hey, I've noticed that you do have a tendency to kind of get into run-on sentences, especially around paragraph 4 and 5. Maybe go back and reread that part and check for grammar. There's nothing wrong with saying something like that, being respectful and offering them feedback, because as writers, our brain often skips over a lot of things. We may be writing and not realize we've made a mistake until another pair of eyes looks at it. So don't be afraid to offer criticism. I'm going to be looking forward to get a full 100% on this assignment. I'm going to be looking that your draft is 2 to 3 pages. I'm going to be looking that your responses are, offering some sort of feedback. They're not just like, great job, you did it, because that's not helpful. It's not helping you as a writer to just be like, oh, it was good, but not say why it was good. So I'm going to want your responses to be, concise, have content, and offer some constructive feedback. So if you have questions about the discussion forum or any parts of it, you can definitely let me know. But this is going to be we're going to be doing this for every one of our papers in this class. The discussion forum before the week the paper is due is going to be dedicated to doing this peer review forum. And I've had a lot of students say they really like it because it gives them a chance to show off their writing to others, and it gives them a chance to get a lot of really good feedback before they turn in that final draft that they're going to get a grade on. So that's my goal with this assignment anyway. So that's pretty much it for week 5. The textbook and grammar review activities should be very straightforward. And then the discussion forum, I'm very excited by. I always get excited when we do the discussion forums that are peer review because I really like to see what others think of your work, and I like to give you feedback as well before we push into the final draft being due. So as always, if you have questions, please let me know. But otherwise, I look forward to, let me scroll down here. I look forward to seeing you all again soon, and have a great week 5.